Hey, what's up everybody? GratuiTous here from itsgratuitous.com. I'm a recognized FL Studio trainer, and in this video, I want to talk to you about how to use your typing keyboard as a piano in FL Studio when you're first getting started, some best practices to actually start learning FL Studio and learning to make beats. Are you looking for an easy way to learn how to actually make beats with FL Studio? Check out my FL Studio beginners book. Just go to itsgratuitous.com/beginner. All right, so the first thing I want to talk to you about is the steps that you should be following is, first of all, download the trial version of FL Studio and see if you actually like FL Studio to make beats. I really like FL Studio. It has lifetime free updates, and the trial version is actually the full version of FL Studio. Now, the next step is to get a MIDI keyboard. This is the M Audio Oxygen Pro 49. I always like a 49 key MIDI keyboard. A lot of people think that, oh, I'm not going to have enough keys to play, but check this out. So again, if you're looking for a MIDI keyboard, a 49 key is like the sweet spot. It's not huge. You can even see on my desk, I have an audio interface to the side. This is crucial for a really fast workflow as a beat maker. You have your piano, you have your audio interface to change your volume. I'm only speaking from experience here. I've been doing this for many years, and this is by far like the best workflow that I've had. But again, there's a lot of marketing out there. A lot of people are recommending a MIDI keyboard, but they can't even really play the piano. Okay, so let's get into how you can use your typing keyboard in FL Studio to make your beats, because that is what I did when I first started up. Okay, in FL Studio, in order to get your actual typing keyboard to work, okay, you actually just have to click typing keyboard to piano keyboard. And if you always look in the top left of FL Studio, you are going to see the keyboard shortcut. In this case, it's Control-T, but I recommend always having that enabled. And in this video, we'll even build like a little drum beat, okay? And so I'll just like a kick drum in there. We'll add like a snare, okay? Now, if you want to play your piano, all you have to do, like what I used to do, is use QWERTY, Q-W-E-T-R-Y. Here, you can also right click. I think by default, it lays out layout piano, okay? And so this is what I suggest to you. Don't worry about chords right now. You just need to learn, first of all, how does the software work? How does FL Studio work? As you can see, we have the channel rack. I have loaded up a virtual instrument. To add a virtual instrument, you can click down here. I personally like to right click and go insert. And the reason for that is because it's going to add the virtual instrument always above, and I don't have to organize the VST after, because I usually like to have the VSTs up top, drum samples down below. So watch, if I click the Alt key and down, okay, you can see I can go up and down. But if I were to click here, add the plugin, it adds it at the very bottom, then I still have to bring it up. So for example, if I want the virtual instrument in between FL keys and flex, I would just right click, go insert, and then you can add the plugin in, okay? Okay, so I've shown you how to enable typing keyboard. I've shown you how to open up a virtual instrument, okay? Now, again, a virtual instrument is called a generator. So we're going to come here. So a virtual instrument is a generator, whereas an effect is something that goes onto the mixer. Just remember, generator generates sound. It's what's called a virtual instrument. And now with that enabled, just use QWERTY, and I'll share with you here. So for example, now let's just build a little drum loop. So my tempo is at 140. Let's just make more of kind of like a beat, not so much like a dance track. So I'll put it, let's say, like 94, and I'll just go kick. We'll just add it in, maybe something like this, add our clap in, and we'll add this into the playlist. I'll hit F2. We will go drum loop, hit F2 to give that a random color. And so how music production works is, because if you're watching this video, how to use a typing piano as a MIDI keyboard, you're pretty brand new to FL Studio. So how music production works is we create patterns, and those patterns loop over and over and over. And it's not just FL Studio. That is how music production works. You create one pattern, it loops over and over, and then the playlist is where we're actually arranging the song. So for example, let's say we have our drum loop. We can add and remove it as the song plays, okay? And then as we add more instruments, which for example, like let's say we had this sound. Let's just add something like this. Okay, so I'll just quickly do this, and then I'll share with you how to record and get set up. So let's just do this kind of quickly, okay? So let's just say we have this sound here, okay? And as you can see, we can add and remove that whenever we want. Let's just focus on the first 4 bars. So we'll zoom in here. And as you can see, if I hit play, so I'll hit stop. Okay, so I'm just sharing with you how it works, because if you're brand new, this is how it works. But that was a super weak beat. All right, so now when it comes to programming our notes, right now I have created one drum loop, right? It's in one pattern. You can see up here in the patterns, okay? I personally do not like to have the panel picker enabled. You can if you want, but I just find it takes up so much screen real estate when you're making your beats. And once you learn the keyboard shortcuts, it makes your life way easier. So we have one drum loop going on. It's in the playlist. I'm going to hit the plus to go to another pattern on my number pad, or you can also come up here, hit the plus right there, or you can come here and you can also find first empty. There's multiple ways to do things in FL Studio, okay? So you just got to find your workflow. But if you listen to the words I'm saying for the keyboard shortcuts, follow them, and I promise you, you will find the absolute fastest workflow, okay? So again, this pattern right here, I'm in drum loop. I'm going to hit the plus. Now I'm ready to record. That is off my MIDI keyboard. Now, if I want to record off of my typing keyboard, this is what I suggest to you to learn to make beats, okay? Because right now you're brand new. You're learning how the software works. You don't even know how a melody is put together. And you as the beat maker, you need to train your ear for what is a catchy loop. And then once you start adding in more and more melodies, like for example, we have FL keys, we have this ambiclav, and then we come here and let's say we select this fairy sparkle. So these are very, very different sounds. Like if I just play them quickly, so go to a different sound. So, right, another sound. And so as a beat maker, you have to learn how can we use these different sounds to make our beat. So back to just a typing keyboard, we have this enabled. I will be hitting Q. Q is a really powerful way to test the sound whenever I'm talking to you guys in videos or my courses. This is what I hit Q, okay? So now our drum loop is in here. We are in a new pattern. I can hit record by simply clicking right here. But again, when you have a MIDI keyboard, which is right here, let me just zoom in. You can see a good MIDI keyboard has these transport buttons, okay? It has the loop button, which allows you to switch between song and pattern mode. Important for workflow, in my opinion, with FL Studio. You have stop, play, record. Okay, you can see that I can record that. And so this is why a MIDI keyboard is really nice. It allows for that fast workflow. That's why I said the steps should be: download the trial version of FL Studio. If you like it, buy FL Studio. Has lifetime free updates. So once you're in, you're in. And then get a nice MIDI keyboard. And then you're set up. And then it's all about finding sounds. And a lot of the stock stuff is good when you're getting started, but eventually you may want to upgrade to drum samples. If you do want some high quality drum samples, you can check out my website. It's GratuiTous.com. Check out the Drum Bundle Trio. It's a really, really tons and tons of sounds, tons of kicks, very, very high quality. Oh, I just switched out that. So we will replace the FL keys back. So there we go. Okay, I will get rid of the keyboard. And so now let's record a little example. And then I'll also record an example with the piano just to share with you. It's like the difference between knowing what you're doing, knowing how to play chords, knowing how to make a beat versus just getting started. But when you're first getting started, you have to start at the basics. Otherwise, you're not going to learn. There's a lot of tutorials out there telling you, oh, buy this or buy this. This video right here is teaching you how to get started step by step. So I hit the plus on my number pad. It goes to pattern 2. I can hit record. I can hit play. And now we have to try and do a melody. So okay, now we can come into here, look at our notes. So let's make this full screen. And you can see that some of these notes, they're off. So the keyboard shortcut is, and this is known as what's called quantizing. So you can just press either Shift and Q to keep the size of your notes, or you can press Control and Q and it just kind of does that. So let's just go Shift and Q and it just kind of locks them in, because with music, how it works is it's timing, right? We need to have our notes on time. And so let's just hit play. Here's our little weak beat. Okay, so that's one melody over our drum loop. You can hit F2 and I would go like, let's say piano. I always like to write in capitals, and we'll go like that. We'll go push in the middle scroll wheel. We'll give it that same green color. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to another pattern. Now we can click here. A good beat maker understands that when we look at our frequency spectrum, we are looking at, because when we have music, our hearing, we are restricted to our highs and our lows, right? This is the frequency spectrum for this beat so far. It looks pretty full, but it's really not. And if I click this and we look at that again, so this is just the piano. So now I have this ambi-clav loaded up. Okay, and I just want to share with you that, see, as a beat maker, if we're going to be playing the same notes in the same area, then it's going to be harder to mix. And it's just, yeah, so as a beat maker, you want to try to spread your sounds around. So watch it, hit play. Let's just play these other notes. So I would play a little maybe lower. If I go to like my MIDI keyboard, I have a more range, so you can just see how like the sound it's cut through more. If I go lower, even lower. All right, so it's just all about getting, thinking about why sound selection, and we do that by spreading our sounds over the frequency spectrum, okay? So we just have a super basic beat here. I'm gonna hit record again. You can see I am loaded up on the ambi-clav, which is flex. This is what's known as what's called a rompler. I would highly recommend using a rompler when you're making beats. You quickly select a sound, and they're usually very high quality, and they allow you to just see results. Like, you don't have to learn about sound design and stuff. So here we go. We're gonna hit play. And now I have to, okay, so this is just how you can get started. Again, we can come here, hit Control Q, hit the record button, hit stop. And then, so now you as the beat maker, when you're first learning, it's all about, does this sound good? And then if you want to edit your notes. So right now you are learning, how does the software work, right? If I want to edit my drum loop, I can click here, I can adjust it. If I want to make this drum loop unique, I can go make unique. And this one, maybe we just add in one extra drum. So you can see from drum loop to drum loop 2, you can see we have one extra note. This piano is 2 bars. So we have 1 bar right here, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4. We go to the next bar, and then same thing. And now down here, we have our ambi-clav. So again, you can hit F2, you go ambi-clav, hit F2 to give it a color, or you can select this, and you can select a color in here somewhere. So we'll go like that one. The keyboard shortcut, again, is you hit the middle scroll wheel, hit F3 to keep that color, and there you guys go. And so let's just remove these though, and I'll just give you guys a better example of, like, let's hit keys, okay? So I have FL keys. You can see that I've routed it to insert 8, and I'll just so there's 2 ways to route a sound in FL Studio. I'll share this with you quickly, because once you have your sounds, you want to route them to the mixer, because again, like I'm saying, you have to learn how to make beats. You have to learn how to route your audio around. You have to learn how the program works. And again, like I'm saying, if you're checking out this video, you're probably, you want to learn how it all works. So you can simply click here, go to 8, and if I just hit some keys, okay, you can see that it's going to 8. Another way to do that is with it highlighted, you can right click and go channel routing. Again, always look at the keyboard shortcuts. So there's Control L. If we highlighted 2 of these sounds, and I did that by either right clicking or holding Shift and click, or the middle scroll wheel, there's multiple ways to do things in FL Studio. Okay, so the keyboard shortcut is Control Shift and L. There you go. So we have our FL keys, we have our this random sound, and we'll now, let me just hit stop. We can hit play. Okay, so now if you want to route any audio around in FL Studio, you can also click stuff all in here and all that kind of stuff. It's going a little bit advanced, but that's just called like parallel processing, and it's definitely the secret of the pros. Let's get some hi-hats. And again, so if you're looking for a very high quality drum kit, I highly suggest this drum bundle trio. I use it all the time in my courses, and we'll just click in just a random hi-hat pattern. We turn it down just a little bit. And we'll get one more drum, and we'll spice it up just a little bit. Okay, so I'll bring it up. And because the beat before was pretty weak. Okay, so bring it down just a little bit, and we'll start with that, okay? So again, right now you can see I'm focused on the kick drum here, and I will be using my MIDI keyboard now just to show you like the difference. So first of all, a keyboard just allows you to, if you know how to play the piano, it just allows you just to play a little bit better. And it just allows like the workflow. So if I load this up, like again, you can see everything from my MIDI keyboard. I can hit record, I can hit play, I can hit stop, and it's just like the workflow. Once you learn it, you become super, super fast. Okay, so I'll hit play, and now I'm trying to find a melody over this. So find a different sound. So again, it's all about trying to find the right sound for what you're looking for. We will bring down the volume a little bit. I feel that the melodies are too loud for the beat. Okay, some of these sounds, you can only hit one note to use them. So watch if I hit a couple notes, and I'll bring this back up. So if I hit a couple notes, you can see I can't play chords with it. I usually like to always have a sound I can play chords. What we'll do is we'll go to strings. We'll grab something in here. Okay, so I'm gonna add a lot of reverb on these strings. Lower. So some of these sounds cap out. In other words, you're not able to go any lower with the sound. So in this case, let's just actually record something that we had there. So I'll hit record, hit play, 3, 4. So this sound is up high. Okay, we go back to that frequency spectrum. If you're listening close, these are pro tips I'm telling you. These are up high. These strings are up high. We need to kind of get the body of the sound. We need to get something in the middle, something that's just going to make it sound full and catchy. So I don't know what that is. So you hear how it's kind of more in the body, more like in the middle, right? So we'll just do one more sound and then we'll wrap up the video, okay? So again, when I'm playing this sound, and I know I'm talking about a MIDI keyboard now because again, I started you off slow. That's how you want to learn to make beats, because you want to learn how all your sounds work, how they go into the playlist, how you create your patterns. And the trick is learning how to create catchy loops, right? Anyone can sit here and explain to you how FL Studio works, but only you can really teach yourself how to make a melody that's catchy with multiple melodies, right? That's a skill that you have to acquire yourself. No one can teach you that. You can learn music theory, you can learn chords, you can learn the piano, but you have to spend the time and the hours for adding these different sounds and how they can all kind of flow with each other. Okay. All right. So like I said, let's just add one more sound in here and let's see what we can get. I always really, really like the mobile synth pluck pack. Whoever sound designed these, huge shout out. I really, really like these sounds. They're all, like almost every single one is just so perfect for like little quick melodies. So first of all, you hit play and then we can test the sounds over it. So let's say we like that, hit stop, hit record, hit play, 3, 4, so. Okay, so I will stop. Oops, went to the wrong one. Okay, so I'll hit escape. You can see that I've recorded that in the same pattern. I'm gonna hit Control X. We're gonna hit the plus on that number pad. Boom, this was what the ambi-clav was before. We can add that in here and we'll just go like pluck, okay? And so now I will edit these notes. We will go Shift and Q instead of Control and Q. Control and Q does the full length. Shift and Q just does that, and we'll hit play. So I want to add another note in there. And I think I went up too quick, so we'll bring this one over as well. Bring this down. There we go. Okay, the next step, bass line maybe, right? You'd open this up, you'd grab your bass line. Maybe we can find something in here, probably the 808, something like this would be really, really good for this track. We want a nice clean 808, so up higher. Maybe we want it a little more distorted, right? So distortion, what that's doing is it's just making it cut through more on smaller speakers. I'm in between the synth boosted. You can hear how it cuts through. Okay, that's really important for small speakers. This is a little bit cleaner sounding. We'll try the destroyed, right? So it all depends the type of track you're making. I'm gonna go for the boosted. It's gonna cut through just a little bit more. I'll also add just a little bit of release on that as well. So now I'm gonna hit stop. We will hit play. So. So a lot of times you want to keep playing, keep playing, try and find a melody. Sometimes that's the melody right away. Sometimes just keep playing. And then a lot of times if you played something and you didn't record it and you're like, oh no, always just go to a new pattern. So again, hitting my plus on the number pad, go to new pattern, go to tools, go to dump score log to selected pattern and go last 2 minutes. And you can see these are all the notes that I was playing with this 808. And then you have to grab them, you can cut them, hit delete, hit paste, and you can come and you can kind of work with them if you want to do it that way. But let's just hit stop. I'll record this 808 just to make it sound a little bit fuller, just to give you a better example. So here we go. So I'm on the synth. So again, we want to be on the 808, and I'll remove this one by hitting Alt and Delete, and we'll go again. So here we go. So. And so now it's a matter of getting in here, fine-tuning, bring that back a little bit, a little long. Nope. Bring up the volume a little bit. So I'll bring back the keyboard. So you can see the velocity is very, very important when it comes to these notes. This is actually a form of mixing your velocity, right? So a lot of people want to reach for like a limiter or reach for a compressor. Start with your velocities first. Your velocity is like the first place to start to adjust your volumes, and then you can use your plugins. So again, let's just check it out. So if you guys have any questions about how to use FL Studio, how to make beats, that's my website, itsgratuitous.com, is all about. I'm a recognized FL Studio trainer. I've been using this program for a long time, as well as making beats for a long time. I have tons of beat tapes, tons of albums, all that kind of stuff. I really like to make beats, and if you would like to learn, that's what my website is all about. I teach you guys simple, to the point. And in this video, it was more about, if you are brand new, I was teaching you, you can see like my typing keyboard right here. So I was teaching you how to set up your typing keyboard as a piano. And just quickly, I forgot to share this, I think, with you. Again, up here in the piano, you can right click and you can select different things. Like if you want to play chords off of the piano, you can do that. Right? So, but my recommendation to you is don't worry about chords or anything when you're first getting started. Learn how the program works. Learn just simple, super simple melodies, and I promise you, you will learn way faster because you're actually learning the program. You're learning how it all works. Again, as a beat maker, doesn't matter what DAW, what music program you use, it's all about creating patterns, which are loops, which keep looping over and over. We add and remove those loops whenever we want in our playlist, and that is where we are building the song. And as a beat maker, it's all about training your ear for what is catchy. And when you have your different melodies like pianos, guitars, synths, strings, bass, whatever you're adding, it's all about learning how to create a catchy melody, which is cohesive. Each element complements each other, right? And then you can add and remove them, and that's how you start building verse 1, verse 2. That takes a lot of practice, and no YouTube video is ever going to teach you that. You can take my courses, you can do anything, and my courses won't even teach you that. They will teach you how to get started, like you've just watched here. This is kind of an experience of like my teaching style. This video is much more revealing than I would usually do on YouTube. YouTube's more just kind of quick videos for me. If you want like the real deal, you want to see all the notes always, you want to see how I'm really doing things, that's where the courses on my website help you. But again, even the courses won't teach you to make catchy melodies, because that's how you will learn to make your beats, by getting in your program, practicing with a MIDI keyboard, understanding keys and scales, understanding how to make loops, how to make drum loops, how to make piano loops, right? Bass lines, all that stuff. It takes years, it takes practice, and a lot of people, they want to rush it. They think it's just a matter of watching a couple of YouTube videos and you're good to go. It takes years. And then once you even learn the basics of how to make a beat, now you're into the mixing, right? You're onto all these mixer channels. You're learning about how to, when you add your effects on, let's just use a stock plugin, then you're learning into mixing, how to cut, how to boost, how to make different sounds fit. There's a lot to learn, okay? So let me just recap those steps for you to see results in your beats, because that's what it's all about, right? Step number 1, download the trial version, see if you like it. Step number 2, purchase a version of FL Studio. If you would like to learn what version to buy, you guys can visit my website, it's GratuiTous.com. Use the search bar, type in FL Studio version, okay? Step number 3, once you're ready for it, get a MIDI keyboard. A MIDI keyboard is more important than your speakers and headphones and everything, okay? A MIDI keyboard allows you to play your keys. It allows you to have these transport buttons. As you can see, here's the transport buttons right here, stop, play, record. And it just allows for a much better workflow once you're at that level, once you can take advantage of it, okay? All right, I'll talk to you in the next video. Thanks for making it this far. And don't forget, visit itsgratuitous.com/beginner if you would like to check out my beginner's book as well as my FL Studio beginner's course. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.